a quick reflection on the theme of dysphoria, and particularly here, as opposed to gender dysphoria, body dysphoria. I do distinguish the two, although I think there's quite an overlap. So for me, gender dysphoria has more to do with appearance and how I would want to be seen, accepted, read in the world, whereas body dysphoria is something which is very much a very deep felt sense of urgently really wanting to have a female body. Now, as a gender fluid person, this comes and goes. And my reflection is that having experienced this quite intensely over this past weekend, when it comes, it is very much like depression. Something that I also from time to time suffer from, and know many do, that comes almost without warning and not with any obvious trigger. I know in the case of depression, there are theories around what's going on with the chemicals, the serotonin and mood enhancers, which are being produced and perhaps not in adequate supply for maintaining positive mood. And there are various other theories around that. But possibly something similar goes on with body dysphoria as well. I don't know. It is a very deep inner felt experience. Whether that feeling is to do with somatic effects, which may subconsciously, of course, be triggered by the brain and chemicals and so on, I don't know. My own belief is that more is going on, that it is tapping into something beyond a pure psychological process. It's tapping into something in the collective subconscious, it's into, I don't know, the areas of subconscious sex, into morphic resonance, into things we do not understand or know. I'm guessing here, but that is my sense. But yes, very much like depression, it comes, it can be very strong, it is incredibly unpleasant and distressing when it comes. I would describe it as being like a severe despair almost, not a yearning, but an absolute urgent will to be free of the situation. As it were, the body that I'm within at that time. So whatever is going on, if it is purely psychological or whatever, it is a very deep felt experience. But interesting for us, those of us who are gender fluid at least, that this does seem to follow a very similar pattern, I think, to the depression or certain types of depression that kind of come and go. And when they come and go, can't be predicted. For those, of course, who suffer body dysphoria on a more or less constant basis, this must be a truly awful experience. And it's why I personally do understand people talking about a sense of this existential sense of being born into the wrong body. I know that's a term that's not necessarily appreciated by all people in the trans community. So, of course, it's not one to assume that everyone will associate with and to respect whatever they do, whatever they say about this. But for me, it does seem quite a meaningful way of describing this experience, or at least trying to explain it to people who really cannot possibly understand it. If you've suffered depression, deep depression, you probably have suffered something fairly similar, albeit the depression might just be low mood and not be focused on anything in particular, as in this case, the sense of body, the body you're inhabiting. But I think there's, having experienced both at different times and sometimes together, I can see that is quite a useful comparison, perhaps, for those who might be struggling to understand what dysphoria feels like. At least I'm talking about my own experience. Others may have other views. And of course, if they do, very welcome to share those in the comments.